Hi, and welcome to Origin of Concepts. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'll continue the 12 labors of Heracles from Greek mythology. And we have reached number 6, the 6th labor, slaying the Stymphalian birds. The 6th labor was to defeat the plague of man-eating Stymphalian birds in Arcadia, where they bred quickly and took over the countryside, destroying local crops, fruit trees, and townspeople. And it's no secret that we have to move to the Milky Way center here, because that's where it all's origin. Let's start with the birds. The birds are visualized by the striped shadow, of course. This is all the birds coming together here on the mountainside. Or the countryside. It's both, because the countryside is on the mountainside. And of course the countryside is the area surrounding the striped shadow. And the crops and the trees and local townspeople is also the striped shadow here. The crowd, the bystanders, and the trees and the flora and fauna, always. And of course the Arcadia is the Milky Way itself, or the outline of the Milky Way center. So now we know where to begin. The man-eating birds. The Milky Way center looks like a giant mouth or a beak eating the striped shadow, which is the mane. The striped shadow here is always the mane with the head of the disc. And then we got the birds is now, when we talk about, more than one birds is always the striped shadow when they are in flocks. And when you talk about single entities, it's often they use the entire Milky Way. And now we got to the mouth of the bird, and that's of course the mouth in the Milky Way center here. If we follow the inner and outer shadows of the area around the disk, we got this mouth. So here we got the mouth eating, but it's actually a beak. But let me see if I can draw it here. Because they got a beak made of bronze. And that's because the bird is like visualized like this. And then they got like I'll make the eagle here. They got a beak here. And here's the eye and here's the wings, you see? So this is the big model of the bird. The golden or bronze beak. And the bronze is of course because the golden disc light here is running down through the beak or the striped shadow, as usually in all my videos. So here I got the bronze beak. Let's move on to the wings, because they got wings which is sharp metallic feathers, which can be used to launch at their victims. And the striped shadow also represent the wings. Let me use the white color here. And because it's like a crescent. So that's the wing of the birds. And they could launch them like a weapon. And yeah, it's because it's like the arrows in the wings, of course. And let me see here. Yeah. So here you got the metallic feathers on the wing. And their dung was highly toxic. And again, their dung is the striped shadow here. Or the stripes is the dung. And the poison is the golden or red bloody light from the disc running down through to give this red color and make it poisoned. So it's very highly toxic. Heracles could not go too far into the swamp, for it will not support his weight. And the weight is, of course, because of his size. I'll go deeper into that in a Heracles video. But the swamp is all this area too. The swamps with the plants and muddy and yeah, all what the swamps need. Then Heracles shook his rattle, named Crotala, and frightened the birds into the air. And the birds start to fly up, and Heracles then shoot as many of them with his arrows. And yes, of course, both the bird flying up is the striped shadow, and it's also the arrows of Heracles. So it's both things. And then the rattle. He used the rattle to scare the birds. And the rattle is the silvery shadow here, the handle, and of course the jingles on the rattle is the striped shadow here. So this is his rattle he used to scare the birds. And let me see, I go ahead here, the arrows. And then the birds are nesting. The birds nested in a dense, inaccessible swamp, Lake Stymphalian. And of course the nest here, this is always the nest with the stripes of wood and stuff. So this is the eagle's nest, or the bird's nest here. And let me see where I got. And the nest, of course, is placed in the swamp. Of course it is. And then we got Lake Stymphalian, which is the sea or lake above here. So this is the lake. Let's move on. The birds that were not killed fled to the island of Heracles and were later encountered by the Argonauts. And to jump out of the Heracles myth and into the Argonauts, I just want to tell that the Heracles island is, of course, also the Milky Way center, and the Argonauts itself is the stripes and the striped shadow. You know, they are sailing in their boat, or sometimes the great boat here. But that will be for another video. And so it goes round and round and round. The Milky Way center is reused and reused and reused, and that was the big secret of the times, and still is, by the way, because I don't think anybody in this world have found out yet before they see my videos. But maybe I'm wrong, who knows. Okay, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. And I'll be back very soon with the next video in the row. Hope to see you soon, and until then, take care. Bye.